plaintiff, Jeremiah Heston, was addicted to meth and heroin, and when he dated the defendant, they were heavy drinkers. Jeremiah claims the defendant was pregnant when he left her 7 years ago, and he petitioned the court for a DNA test to see if he is her daughter's father. Defendant Jessica Reed says when Jeremiah left, he said he wanted nothing to do with the baby. So she lied and told him she terminated the pregnancy. Jessica agreed to take a DNA test today because she insists Jeremiah is her child's father.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Give me some background.
Okay, I've been a mess up all my life, basically since I was 12. Been a real bad drug addict.
What type of drugs did you start with at 12?
Methamphetamine.
At 12?
Heroin.
At 12?
Well, not at 12. The heroin came later.
Meth at 12?
Meth, yeah.
All right.
This is an act to try to get my life straightened out and everything good. I met Jessica in 2010. I met her through a friend. We dated online, or not online, but by phone. Mm-hmm. And I ended up quitting my job in Indiana and moving out to be with her in Oklahoma. And
sight unseen?
I mean, not sight unseen. We talked on the phone and visited once or twice.
Okay.
But I decided I'm going to quit my job.
How did it go?
Okay. As soon as I get there, I come out there with my 2-year-old. I had full custody of my 2-year-old at the time. Mm-hmm. As soon as I got there, she quit her job.
Before you got one?
As soon as she, yeah.
You didn't have one when you came?
I just moved up there.
And she quit hers when you arrived?
Yeah. Well, I ended up finding a job.
Yeah, okay.
And it ended up, she had a little bit of money because she had a tax return, so she had some money, but none of that was gone, that was it. My job was enough to just pay the rent and the bills and stuff like that, and it got overwhelming for me. And finances are a big part of the reason stuff got bad. We were drinking real heavy, and it just got to the point where she moved one of her family members in the house, and I ended up to the point where I had decided I was going to leave. We were on the outs for a couple months before I decided I was going to leave. And didn't really talk. We didn't really communicate much. It was just like, you know,
there was no communication.
We live in the same house. That's it, you know. So I decide I'm going to leave. She comes out pregnant. So I told her at first I'm at the point where I'm leaving no matter what. So we're doing some stuff that I wouldn't say is safe for a baby, you know, to be, you know. No. So I told her I told her if she's going to continue the stuff that she's going to do, she should stop, she should have an abortion with the baby. If she was pregnant, at first I don't believe her. But second, I said, well, if you're going to continue this, you can't.
Terminate the pregnancy.
Yes. So, long story short, I ended up leaving. She told me she had an abortion. I moved back home to Indiana and fell off the wagon right off the bat as soon as I got there. Ended up getting back into drugs real bad.
So how long had you been drug-free?
Meth-free, I'd been about the whole time I was there. So.
Okay, and how long was that?
Less than a year, almost a year.
So you all dated a year, 2 years?
Not
okay.
2, a year.
All right, 1 year. You want to make sure I got that right. Not 2, 1. All right.
Objection.
Objection, right, 1. All right. And why was it rocky?
It was a little bit, I'm not going to deny my part in it. We were drinking heavy.
All right, let me hear from you, ma'am.
All right, well, a lot of that is true. But, I mean, like you said, everything was great at first. You know, we got along, and then everything just went kind of crazy. And
Why do you think?
Because
what happened? Tell me.
We just started fighting over every little thing, and we weren't getting along.
Were you all drug addicted? Or just alcohol?
It was just alcohol.
Uh-huh.
And
would you get drunk often?
Off and on, yes. But
How often is that? Once a week? Twice a week?
Every day.
almost every day. For a while
Okay,
there.
drunk
yeah.
every day? Yes, you're gonna have problems. I
Yes,
don't know
of
what
course.
y'all thought.
We
Go
made
ahead.
mistakes, but then we started fighting a lot.
Yes.
And anyways, I
That's
ended
what
up
drunks
pregnant.
do.
Huh?
That's what drunks do. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then I ended up pregnant, which was a surprise. And he ended up telling me that he didn't want the baby, so I told him that I had an abortion, and he ended up leaving. So
And you obviously didn't
And he hasn't seen-
You obviously didn't terminate the pregnancy.
no, obviously not,
Then why did you tell him that?
because he was leaving anyways, and he didn't want anything to do with it. So, and he hasn't seen her once since she was born, and
That's
hasn't
not
made.
all. That's not all the way true, Your Honor. She told me she didn't want me to have anything to do with the baby. I told her she should
Right.
terminate if she's going to be risky with the stuff she was doing.
That is not what I said.
Yeah. Prison case for, like I said, I got back into the drugs real bad. Ended up catching a manufacturing case. Ended up getting 6 years. Did 3 and some change.
Okay.
During this time, I'm on drugs. So some paperwork came for them, the child support paperwork.
Yeah, pretty much the only time he's ever talked about wanting to see her is when he gets paperwork for child support.
Okay, I'll let you go into that. Go ahead.
Anyways, I get the paperwork for the child support. I ignored it because I was in my stuff, you know? So I end up ignoring it, and then I end up getting incarcerated for several years. But
So when you came home, what happened then?
I started paying child support. I got a job.
So for the last 4 years, you've paid child support?
No, I'm not current by any means. But when I'm working, I pay. You know, I've been clean now for a year and a half off the meth.
Good.
I'm gonna start college in the spring. I'm already accepted to Ivy Tech.
Good.
I'm not saying I'm a saint because I'm not.
You're not drinking alcohol, are you?
A little bit.
Come
yes.
on. Did you ever go to rehab? Treatment?
Oh God, you read.
And they didn't tell you you're not supposed to use any mind-altering drug or alcohol?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so why are you doing it anyway? You think you are different from the rest of the addicts? That alcohol, at some point, it'll trigger that thought of the other drug, particularly if you're drunk at the time. Because when you're drunk, you're much more reckless. You're much more inclined to do things that you wouldn't if you're sober. So you're sitting there drunk and somebody come with some crystal meth. Oh, crystal meth. I'm drunk, but I remember how that made me feel. So let me get some of that. That's better than the drunk that I feel. Since I'm drunk and I'm high anyway, let me get higher. That's gotta be the process. All right, ma'am, you give me some insight on what happened. He says, and you agree that you told him you terminated the pregnancy, so why would he get involved? You say he hadn't been involved, why would he if you told him that?
When he left, it was pretty sour, and he didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, because you told him you had terminated.
No, he said that before I told him that. He kept telling me to do it, so he said that before I told him I did that, when he was leaving.
Okay, why did you tell him you did?
Because he just was very mean and just wanted to leave, so I told him that.
Okay, and what did you expect to happen?
Him not to have to worry about it, I guess.
If you knew you had told the man you terminated the pregnancy, why did you go and file child support?
After my daughter was born, my cousin went and told his mom that I had had the baby, and, you know, he knew about it, so.
Had you told him that it was his child at that point?
At that point, no.
Right.
She
I-
told
I-
So
you.
how
even
could
had-
you file for child support when the last you spoke of the child, you told him you had terminated it? So why would you come then and file for child support without saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and file child support because when I told you I terminated the pregnancy, I was just mad. I did have the child. And then you all discuss it, and then you say, okay, so I hope you'll understand, I'm going now to file for child support. You didn't do that. You just went and filed and didn't even tell the man that you had not terminated. You want to go and get the results, and so...
Yes, I had. Oh,
Pardon me?
I'm terribly sorry. I
What?
had not had any communication with him at all, so, I mean, so.
You knew where to find the family, remember? Remember the family. All right. Don't think they can just tell me anything. I didn't know how to reach him. You just got through telling me that they told his family. And you look clean, sir, and thank God you look clean. I hope you stay clean because you do have a child, and good luck to you. Have a good day.
Oh, dear. Can you say hi?
I'm your dad. It's good to meet you.
You say hi? Hi. You want to shake his hand?